Kevin Hatchard, European football expert, joins us on the phone now. Kev, good evening, sir.
Evening, Kev.
How are we, chaps? Well?
Very well indeed. Look, we'll talk about the Villa game in a sec. I just want to go back 24 hours ago when Arsenal humbled Real Madrid. They were good value for it. I think 3-0 was more than a fair result. And another night, maybe Arsenal a bit more ruthless there. One or two more chances. Courtois brought in a couple of saves. I thought Saka was excellent against Alaba in the first half, drilling balls across the face of the box. How's it gone down in Madrid? They don't take defeats particularly well in the Champions League, especially heavy ones like this.
No, they don't. And I think there's two strands to the coverage, actually. I think one of them is criticism of the way that the team fell apart in the second half, the way that they didn't offer enough in attack. But also, quite a bullish air as well, that if anybody can turn a tie around from this position, it's Real Madrid. And there was a lot of editorial about that in a few publications, actually. The fact that, you look at their history in the competition, you look at their experience, if they can make a good start at the Bernabeu, then maybe they can make something happen. So still a bit of hope. But yeah, I think it reflected the kind of shock that Real Madrid felt after what was a phenomenal Arsenal display.
Do you think they were a bit blasé, Kev, going into the game? Because I looked at, that Saka was obviously starting, and it was like as if he told Bellingham, just stay up. Don't. And Saka had a 1v1 situation about 8 times in the first half.
Yeah, I think there was quite a lot of focus on Alaba's selection, because David Alaba, we know, has been one of the great, players defensively in Europe in terms of, his overall play. We used to see him fly him down the wing, actually, from left back, but he played a bit of centre back for Bayern, of course, when they were very successful under Hansi Flick. So he did show he could actually defend, but he's been out for a year. Pretty much. He's he had a long injury. He's come back, and he didn't look right to me. And what you did see as the game wore on was him desperately waving for help, whether that was Bellingham, whether it was Camavinga. They were double teaming Saka because they had to. So, he gave away that first free kick with a rather clumsy challenge that he didn't need to make. So I think a 100% fit David Alaba has at least a better chance of competing with Saka, but he did struggle.
Kev, Bayern Munich, I thought they'd done well, actually, to get themselves back on level terms on the night, but they conceded a very, very late winner. Inter Milan, they're a good side. They've proven that many years, of course, but that's a big blow, isn't it? This is going to be a very, very tough game in Italy.
Yeah, it is a big blow. It's not a massively surprising one, I don't think, because I think this was always the concern with Bayern anyway, that against the really big hitters in this competition, they might fall a bit short. And especially when you think of the players they have out, because Jamal Musiala, who is certainly their most creative player, he was missing. Coman's been struggling with injury. Noah Upamecano, Davies is out. So you lose that many players at once. It's really, really tricky then to play your best football. And I thought Inter were outstanding. Soaked up pressure, hit on the counter. Really, really good. They could win it. They genuinely could win it,
They've got to get past Barcelona at some point. I mean, they were on fire. Lewandowski gets a couple of goals again. He will go down as one of the best strikers ever.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And also, he has no mercy whatsoever for Borussia Dortmund. He's played them 28 times since he left. He's scored 29 goals.
Well,
absolutely brutal every time he plays them. But, I mean, I covered the game, and I thought what was really interesting... Look, Barcelona, when they click, are amazing. Lamine Yamal, brilliant. Fermin Lopez, I thought, was great. Pedri just buzzing around. Rafinha was outstanding. He was involved in 3 of the 4 goals. But they do let you play. They do give you opportunities. And actually, at 1-0, Guirassy, who scored 10 goals in the Champions League this season, has been Dortmund's best striker. He had a golden opportunity to make it 1-1. He just scuffed a volley straight at the goalkeeper. Then he had another chance that he put into the side netting. And then there was another cross to the far post, and he just didn't quite get there in time. If any of those go in, you're talking about a very different game. So, yes, Barcelona are great going forward, really eye-catching, but I think you can get at them. I think there are weaknesses there.
PSG, a late goal from Mendes. It does change the complex of the tie quite dramatically, I think. However, Villa aren't out of it. I've seen enough of Villa at Villa Park this season. They can take the game to the opposition. They're very dangerous on the attack. It's not a mountain, but this is precarious for them.
Yeah, I think it's really tricky. I think even at 2-1, actually, because the problem you've got is that Paris can hit you so hard on the counter. You know, you see all the quality they have. Kvaratskhelia has that one-on-one ability.
Yes,
Dembele's been scoring goals left, right and centre since the turn of the year. Desiree Doué, I mean, how good is he?
Wow.
For a player of his age? Just absolutely phenomenal. And that's before you even get to the midfield. I mean, that midfield is so beautifully balanced. You've got Vitinha, you've got Fabian Ruiz, you've got João Neves. I mean, they've really clicked, really enjoyed playing as a three, and you've got Warren Zaire-Emery, who's one of the rising stars of European football in midfield, can't get in the team.
Kev, it's a dilemma, isn't it, for Unai Emery now, because the goal he scored tonight was stealing the ball off PSG and it ended up counter-attacking the net. The 2 goals behind, does he sit in again and try and score 2 that way, or does he turn it into a basketball match where PSG might go on then? This will end up 5-2 to us if you do that. So he's got a dilemma.
Yeah, I think if you turn it into a shootout against PSG, you're dead in the water. Because I do think even though Villa have got quality and pace, I just think that that only goes one way. I think the other danger as well is if you think you'll be a bit more cautious and you let them have possession, they're so good. And Luis Enrique teams love possession. They'll just dominate it that way as well. So it's really, really tricky. What you've got to hope, actually, and it sounds a bit basic, I think Donnarumma, if you can get set pieces,
I totally agree.
Around the penalty area, I think if you could put him under pressure, get the ball high, get it around his head, he doesn't like it. He's a huge man. He should be so dominant in the air, but he just isn't. So that might be a route to it. If they can, get up the pitch, win free kicks, then maybe that's a way back in. But
first goal's important.
Oh, first goal is everything. First goal is everything. If they can get it. Yep. Then that just puts a bit of doubt in the mind, because the only thing I'd say, PSG last season should have got to the final. PSG maybe should have won it last season, but they blew it against Dortmund. Now, because they blew it against Dortmund, if Villa get that first goal, just puts that little bit of doubt in their mind. And
just quickly, Europa League action tomorrow. There's some British sides involved. Lyon take on Man United, Rangers Athletic Club, and Spurs against Frankfurt. Give us your thoughts on those 3 games quickly, please, Kev. Yeah,
they're all brilliant ties, I think. United against Lyon, that's really dangerous since Paulo Fonseca took charge, even though he's banned for Ligue 1 games, the coach. They've been scoring lots of goals. They've been playing attacking football. Tottenham, I think, have got a real game on their hands against Eintracht Frankfurt. Really good young side. Ugo Ekitike, very, very dangerous in attack. Watch out for him. Rangers, I think, have got the toughest test, because I quite fancy Athletic Club to actually go all the way and win the tournament. The final's in Bilbao. So they'd love to play that at San Mamés if they can. And they've got some terrific players. So I think 3 really great ties.
Kev, you're a superstar. Appreciate your time, bud. Catch up soon.
Cheers, chaps.
Cheers, mate.
The Sports Bar with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy. Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.